This is very appreciated because we just started a new podcast, and the goal is to talk to folks who've spent years in trade compliance and just learn from their experiences, and then we want to share it with the industry. I see that you've spent a decent amount of time at like Livingston, at a logistics company, and now you're at Lufthansa. How was the role different in each of these? Because they all cater to different aspects of trade, right? So could you give us a little bit of context of what you learned at Livingston versus how the logistics company and then now at Lufthansa?
So throughout my very long career, I've had the opportunity to be on both sides, the importer exporter, as well as a service provider, right? Like at a Livingston, right? And it's very different.
Yeah.
At my role here at Lufthansa, how do I explain my role? As the director of international trade compliance, I'm it's a little bit of everything. We have our own internal logistics as well as being the importer exporter in the United States as well as in Europe and Asia. So that's unusual, we retain ownership of the material that we are moving around the world. And
Right.
because we as a company retain ownership of that, we not only have everything in-house,
Right.
like our own internal logistics network and our own internal customs brokerage, as well as warehouses and such.
Right.
Obviously, we also own our own airplanes, so we're very different than like a
Hmm.
traditional freight forwarder, because a
Yeah.
traditional freight forwarder is outsourcing that. Not to say
Yeah.
we don't outsource some of it, and we do work with other carriers. It's just
Hmm.
that because we are a carrier ourselves, we're not necessarily not an asset based, right?
Hmm.
So you have
Right.
that involved. Then you also have the fact that we are the owner of the aircraft components that we're moving around the world. So these aircraft components, I'm going to get to your answer in a second because by
Yeah. Yeah.
explaining this, it'll make everything else kind of fall into place. So we act as on the US side, the US PPI, US Principal Party of Interest. Sometimes our parent company is acting as the foreign PPI, the foreign principal party of interest. We also act as the importer of record ourselves. So do our group companies. Like we own 10 airlines. So I don't know if you're aware of that about Lufthansa. We are depending which metric you use, we're in the top 5, let's put it that way, aircraft groups in the world, right? Including like United and whatnot. In addition to that, we're within the top 5 MRO, maintenance, repair, and overhaul organization. Okay. So we maintain, repair, and overhaul aircraft and aircraft parts. We buy and sell aircraft and aircraft parts. And then we offer access to our pool where people can pay us like a monthly subscription fee, and then we give them a part as we need it, right? Wherever it is, and retain warehouses of this. Okay. So then sometimes we're the importer of record, sometimes our parent company or one of our other group companies, including Lufthansa Cargo, might be That being said, my role today is logistics. It's trade compliance for like a customs brokerage. It's also trade compliance for a typical exporter, importer, manufacturer, wholesaler, because we're pseudo of manufacturer, because we sometimes take the parts and we refurbish them. We're not repairing them, we're refurbishing them. Other times we take the parts and we're just going to repair it on behalf of the customer, right? So with all that being said, the aviation industry is relatively small, right? There's only so many airlines around the world. There's only so many people in this space. So we do it all, right? So now asking about Livingston. Livingston, you are just a logistics service provider, right? You're an agent, whether you're a freight forwarder or the customs
Right.
broker, or you're offering duty drawback services or consulting services. You're just offering those services to the importers and exporters. And they, in turn, they keep the liability.
Right.
You have the liability as being a broker forwarder, but you
Mm.
don't have the liability as the importer exporter, right?
Sure.
And you're selling these different services.
Yeah.
When I was at Corning or L3 Harris, we weren't a service
Mm-hmm.
provider, we were an actual manufacturer. And I was in trade compliance for those organizations.
Mm-hmm.
My role here is all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Looks
it's a
like
little bit of everything.
yeah, it added up over the course of the career, and then you
Mhm.
are like, Gail, take care of everything for us within one company. I think that's awesome, right?
It's funny
And
right now,
yeah.
my role is a lot advisory today.
Okay.
So a year ago, 2 years ago, my role was very different. I
Uh,
had a bunch of teams and we had an operational team. I had trade compliance people underneath me. Now today we decided about a year ago, we decided to
mm-hmm.
outsource some of it. So we
Mm-hmm.
outsourced the customs brokerage and some of the
Mm.
freight handling. It's not necessarily cheaper, but for liability reasons is why we did this. We had too much liability on our shoulders. Being both a customs broker, being a
Yeah.
freight forwarder, being a carrier, being a importer and an exporter, and now
Yeah.
we also were looking at foreign trade zones. Warehouse operator, right? It was just too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
something had to give. So now
Got it.
we got rid of the operational component. We outsourced that.
Mm.
We hired customs brokers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which we still have to manage. So there's that.
Sure.
That's still within our purview.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
now we're moving towards a more traditional importer exporter
Sure.
role.
Mm.
And again, our because we do so many different things, the MRO, we sell
Mm.
parts, right? Sometimes our and we're dealing in a very high risk commodity,
Mm-hmm.
very high risk. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, air, aircraft components for
Mm.
export compliance and import compliance have a
Mm.
lot of legalities involved. And then you also have touch points that are possible DOD, Department of Defense.
Mm-hmm.
So we also get some of that problem and
Mm.
ITAR. And so we're
Yeah.
all over the place. And that's enough, right?
Yeah.
Without being a
Yeah. Yeah.
customs
Yeah. Yeah.
broker and a freight forwarder.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that gives you a little bit about how
Yeah.
my role has evolved
Yes.
and what my role is today. Like my role is we have a problem, Gail, how do we fix it? Or
Mm.
they will try to get it took me, you will appreciate this. It took me 6 years of constant screaming, yelling, throwing hissy fits that we
Wow.
had to change the way we were doing things. And we had to be more proactive rather than reactive. Well, I'm
Yeah.
happy to announce today in this year, 2026, before
Mm.
they do things, they now come to me, my staff, and say, "Hey, we're thinking of doing this. What do we need to do?"
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think
it took a
that's
while, but we
awesome.
got there slowly.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the favorite thing for any type of compliance professional to hear, that people are asking them ahead of time versus during that oops moment, that, okay, now who saves us? Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
we still have a lot of that. It hasn't
Mm.
completely gotten
Yeah.
to everybody because we're a big company,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it has. We've made significant progress this last year. As a matter of fact, right
That's great.
before our call, I had one of
Yeah.
those calls that was proactive.
Ah.
I get so excited when they're proactive.
Yeah. 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 That's amazing. the situation was that you guys were handling a lot of different roles, and now you have strategically outsourced a few things, operations wise, and so on. But just to get a sense of scale, right? Because Lufthansa is one of the larger airline related companies, just the volume of scale that you could share without it being a problem.
In
Yeah.
our database, okay, things that we offer in our pool of
Mm,
parts, as well
yeah.
as other business that we sometimes do. So one of the things we do is we buy old aircraft and we we take what the usable parts off. We deconstruct the aircraft in
Mm,
kind of like a chop shop, right? And
yeah.
take the
Yeah.
parts that are usable,
Sure.
and we take those parts and we send them to our technicians. Our
Mm,
technicians look and see, is the part serviceable, or meaning usable in its current state, or does it need to be refurbished or repaired in
mm,
some way?
sure.
If it gets refurbished, repaired, or if it's serviceable or usable, they put it right in. If you have a Boeing airplane
Yeah.
versus a Airbus, and then the different levels of airplane, or if you've got a
Mm,
helicopter, they have different parts. Okay. It's components. The part of an airplane legally, the legal definition of a part of an airplane is the wing. A part of an airplane is
yeah.
the landing gear. The
Yeah.
rest of it is components, and different
Sure.
components are used for different aircraft. Everything from the seats,
Mm,
the seat belts and the
mm-hmm,
harnesses, to the
mm-hmm,
window assembly,
mm,
to the actual valves and sensors and lasers, to the metal, whatever. All of these different parts we probably have. So
yeah.
here's the problem, it's millions. Like in your average plane,
Yeah.
what your
Yeah.
average small, like a little Cessna or
Yeah.
Air Piper, that's got 1,000,000
Yeah.
parts in it. You
Wow.
you move
Yeah.
up to like a 727 or a 747 or an
Yeah.
Airbus, you've got millions of components in these, literally.
Mm,
So in our
mm, mm,
databases, what we standardly have is 2.1
mm-hmm.
million parts that are moving around
Okay.
all the time.
Yeah.
We also have probably another million, give or take,
Mm, mm-hmm.
of parts that only sometimes move.
Mm,
And then we have like spare parts or spare accessories that every once in a while a customer
mm,
needs, and they just
yeah.
kind of sit there.
Yeah.
So there's quite a so with that being said, this stuff is worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
Billions upon billions of US dollars
Yeah.
or euros, billions of euros, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's stationed in various warehouses strategically located throughout the world. So here in the United States, we have 4 warehouse locations. In the EU, especially in Germany, we have more. We have a lot.
Mm. Right.
We even have in Asia, in Singapore, in
Mm,
Mexico, in Canada, because we our customers are companies like Air Canada, Air Mexico, Latam. Sometimes we'll get a call from United or
mm,
Southwest if they need a part, right? We have
mm,
some customers who are steady. We
yeah.
always do it for them, right? Then we
Yeah.
have other customers who just once in a while they need us
Sure.
to
Yeah.
to help them out.
Yeah.
Okay. And if they're looking for a part, especially if there's an aircraft on ground AOG situation, and they're
Yeah.
looking for a part, they might have one in their stock, but
Mm,
it's in the midst of being serviced, and they'll reach out and
mm,
say, "Hey, Lufthansa Technik, do you have this part available? We don't have it right now. Can you help us out?"
mm.
Right?
Mm.
With that being said, on average,
Mm.
5% of our imports, only 5%, because the other
Mm.
95% came in duty free, and
Yeah.
5% of our imports we were paying approximately $15 million a year in duties to the US
Mm.
government.
Okay.
Okay, now in 2025, it went up to almost 200 million.
Wow.
Okay, so that was
Wow.
a huge difference.
Mm.
And so we put in a lot of mitigation strategies.
Mm.
Our customs bonds, we had to increase them. We also
Yeah.
we have a lot of post-entry work,
Okay.
meaning in the United States, I don't know how much you know about
Mhm.
our import program here. With the process, it's released within 10 days or 30 days, depending on which program you're using. You
Mhm.
have to pay the duties, an
Yeah.
estimated duties, and then a year later to 18 months later, it's liquidated and the offer gets finalized. In a situation like ours, we always we're more working towards what's going on in the back end. We're
Mm.
doing a lot of post summary corrections. We're doing duty drawback. There's things going on in the back end. So a year later, 2 years later,
Yeah.
we might get refunds back or we might be giving money
Yeah.
back to the government. So right
Okay.
now, it's very much in flux. We're still going to
Yeah.
be looking at around $100 million in duty spend.
Wow. Okay. Got it. Got it.
So
That's
yeah, it's big.
uh
It's big.
startling. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yes.
that became
It
a
went
larger
from
number.
5% to 50%
Oh
of our
wow. Okay. So
imports now
50% of
because,
what you were importing had a duty on it.
yeah,
Okay.
because a lot of the parts, remember I said they're components. They don't
Mm.
qualify for duty free entry under the civil aircraft exemption because they're general use. In
Mm.
addition, depending on where they're manufactured.
Mm.
So it came to quite a shock to some of the people in our organization that Boeing actually manufactures stuff in China, and
Yeah.
so does Airbus. And, as a German company, it took them a little bit by surprise. They were like,
Yeah.
"We got it from Boeing in the US." I'm like, "That doesn't matter. Where did Boeing have it contract manufactured? That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
matters."
That's what
And
matters.
so, the country of origin and where the
Mm.
parts are manufactured, some of it's in France, some of it is Germany, some of it
Mm.
Luxembourg, some of it India, some of
Mm.
it Asia, China, some
Yeah.
Japan. It's literally all over the globe.
Yeah.
So it's not just the part itself, right? Like, I'll
Mm.
give you an example. Um,
Mhm.
Electronic controlling equipment,
Yeah.
classified in Chapter 85, 853710, has a
Yeah.
3.7% duty rate coming into the United States. It does not qualify for civil aircraft exemption because this electronic controlling equipment can be used for any application. In the background, it could be used for a machine, it could be used for an ocean liner, it could be used for a rail car, it can be used for even a big truck, right?
Yeah.
So,
Induce. Mm.
being able to be used in all these different things and the programming is the only thing that changes it, right?
Yeah.
So, with the additional duties on steel and aluminum, which a
Mm.
lot of these things
Mhm.
are housed in,
Mhm.
that took 3.7, made it 53.7,
Wow.
right?
Got it.
So, just to give you an example, there's a whole bunch of different types of valves that go inside an aircraft, right?
Yeah.
And most
Yeah.
of them are general use. Moog makes valves.
Yeah.
Moog makes a servo valve that is used in
Mm.
aircraft, it's used in military applications, it's used in trucks, it's used in amusement park rides. know? So
Yeah.
so again, it doesn't qualify for the exemption.
Mm.
When we have those kind of parts, you know, i- again, we got hit really hard because of the metal components, the steel and
Yeah.
the aluminum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aluminum hit us really hard because aircraft,
Mm.
a lot of the parts are aluminum because of the lightweight. They're also
Yeah.
titanium, right? I worked
Mm.
for a company that they just considered duties a cost of doing business. And they
Yeah.
didn't really put much thought into a lot of this until
Mm.
last year.
Yeah.
And I used to argue with them constantly before last year, and they were like, Gail's just exaggerating." And I kept telling
Yeah.
them, because before coming
Yeah.
here, I worked for L3Harris, and we were a government contractor. And not only that, but we were under a consent agreement. We got in trouble for export violations and import
Okay.
violations. And so
Mm.
I kept saying to everybody, I'm not exaggerating. This stuff happens. And when it happens, it's
Yeah.
bad going through these
Yeah.
audits and whatnot. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Right.
we've made
Yeah.
progress, but I wanted to explain all that to you because, based on the questions you asked, understanding how large and intricate
Yeah.
our systems are, you know, minor mistakes that become expensive. Classification, definitely.
Yeah.
For the
Yeah.
longest time, they were
Mm.
classifying everything as aircraft parts under Chapter 88. They were also importing things as U.S. goods returned that didn't qualify for
Mm.
U.S. goods. So we got audited by CB, and we had to pay back, going back. So this was in
Mm.
2019.
Mm.
In 2021 and 2022, because there was different parts of this, we had to do a prior disclosure, and we had to pay back all the money with interest that should have been paid
Yeah.
from 2015 to 2017. This is in 2021 and 2022.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
ended up running us over $50 million.
Comes back to
Okay.
bite you, huh?
So they're
Yeah.
minor mistakes, classification errors that can
Yeah.
become super expensive. You ask what
Yeah.
compliance processes to be outsourced. Yes, we can outsource the filing of the end. We
Mm.
can outsource the transportation,
Mm.
but we can't outsource the legal liability.
Mm.
That can never be outsourced. That's on us. That's
Yeah.
on our management. That's on our
Mm.
board of directors. That's on me
Mm.
personally as
Mhm.
as in my position. I am
Yeah.
personally liable for when we make mistakes.
Yeah.
And that can't be outsourced. What should be outsourced? Anything clerical. There's no benefit to doing it in-house. You have to have a lot of staff. You have to have a lot of resources, a lot of technology. Why not bring in the Livingstons, bring in the Expediters, bring in the Kuehne+Nagels, bring in the DB Shankers? They've been doing this a long, long time. And they
Mhm.
have the infrastructure, they have the computer systems, they have the people, they
Mm.
have the compliance expertise. Let them
Mhm.
do their thing. Let us
Mm.
stick to our core business and make sure
Mhm.
we're providing our service providers the right information. I fully
Got
believe
it.
in that.
Yeah.
Another thing I believe needs to be outsourced is bring in consultants, bring
Mm.
in lawyers when you need it. Don't be afraid.
Mm.
They're not
Yeah.
going to hurt you. They're going to help you. If you're thinking about doing a Department of Defense work
Yeah.
and getting involved with government contracts, get the consultants and lawyers in right away. Don't rely on your internal, because even though
Mm.
your internal trade compliance people might have that knowledge,
Mhm.
they might not have enough of that knowledge about what changed. So
Mm.
outsource that without a doubt.
Got
Take their
Yeah.
advice and get more than one opinion. Get 3.
Mm. Yeah.
My
Yeah.
recommendation.
Makes
Um,
sense.
Guardrails that need to be in place. You better have trade compliance people with experience. Don't expect to bring somebody in straight out of college and teach
Mm.
them. It takes 5 to 10 years to learn this stuff. I've been doing
Yeah.
this, Shalish, 37 years this year.
Oh,
I started
wow.
in 1989.
Yeah, wow.
And back in 1989 and 19, we were just transitioning. A lot of what we do today was just starting. So I grew up in
Mm.
this, right? I was a young
Yes.
kid right out of
Yes.
school,
Yeah.
and what I've learned, it was funny. My very first boss, she was German, and she had said to me, she said, what she loved about this is every day is a challenge and you learn something new every day. And I thought
Yeah.
she was exaggerating. I am here to tell you, 37 years later,
Yeah.
she wasn't exaggerating one bit. So much of what I've learned in trade compliance, I've been able to put into my personal life, um,
Mm.
my other business ventures that we have.
Yeah.
It's funny, just going shopping, right? Just
Yeah.
going shopping to buy something. Well, when you've been doing this for so long and these companies have been your customer, you know what's a
Yeah.
good deal and what isn't.
Uh,
So many times people have blamed price increases on tariffs. I'm like, that's not true. No, they're just taking advantage, you know. And what does it take to defend a trade compliance audit? Record keeping, not
mm.
electronic data,
Mm.
actual source documents.
Mm.
You need the source documents that came from the source. So in our case, we're not the manufacturer,
Mm.
but I used to work for a manufacturer, right?
Yeah.
So the actual manufacturer has all the plans and drawings.
Mhm.
They have all the paperwork and all the internal documentation to
Mm.
prove why they did what they did, right? And why
Mm.
they're manufacturing this. Are they using a subcontractor? Are they manufacturing it themselves? Are they buying the raw materials and having it drop shipped at their subcontractor? Are
Mm.
they buying the raw materials at their own manufacturing facility? And they have the full
Mm.
costed bill of materials with country of origin and classification that can substantiate any free trade claim under like a NAFTA or USMCA or one of the 19 free trade agreements. Can they justify that? Can they justify a US goods return 9801 showing the export, the import, where it was originally manufactured? Do they have a manufacturer's affidavit?
Mm.
Documents, not electronic data. That's what substantiates an audit. Where'd you get, where'd you get the name and address of your vendor from? Did you just Google
Mm.
it? Or did you get it from them in a written document on their
Yeah.
letterhead?
Mm.
That matters in an audit. I have real life examples. We went through an audit in 2019 here at
Yeah.
Lufthansa. We received 14, count them, 14
Okay.
areas of noncompliance that they gave us what they call informed compliance guidelines.
Mm.
Once
Mm.
they inform you, you must now comply, right? We were formally informed that these areas we were out of compliance. One of the big ones was record keeping. We did not have the proper documents to substantiate. We also, over the last year, both our parent company and ourselves, we received over 75 CF-28s requests for information. And we had to go dig to get all that information. Trust me, it was not easy.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
suggest that everybody have their record keeping and do not just rely on electronic data. What is the
Mm.
source document for your electronic data? Could
Mm.
not stress that enough. I've had some fun ones where we've done some really cool things just by knowing how to do it. When I was working at
Yeah.
Corning, the government of Switzerland gave our CEO the special clock. And it was a beautiful nuclear clock
Yeah.
encased in crystal. Just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And we needed to get this clock to the CEO of our company's desk so that when he
Mm.
walked in at 7 o'clock in the morning, this special honorary
Yeah.
gift was on his desk.
Yeah.
We had 24 hours to do it. I
Yeah.
will be happy to tell you we did it. We got it picked up in Switzerland. We got it through Swiss
Mm.
export control. We got it
Mhm.
to the United States. We got it imported and on his desk at 6:55 a.m.
Wow.
What did we have to do that?
Mhm.
Well, we had to call in a lot of favors, but we had the contacts to call in the favors.
Mm.
We had to pay a lot of money and we had to be willing
Mm.
to pay a lot of money to get
Mhm.
white glove service from everybody. But you had to understand that that's what we were going to need to do this. We
Hmm.
made it happen.
Yeah.
We had the paperwork perfectly in order, and it took a lot of coordination between the people in Switzerland, the people here in New York, and
Mm.
all of the parties in between. We
Nice.
used a special carrier that we like to use for our white glove services. They did an exceptional job,
Mm.
and we got that done. The U.S. Department of Defense, and did logistics with them. We had a lot of top secret projects we worked on
Yeah.
and had to get things to specific places in
Mm.
time.
Mm.
In time was of the essence. I also had to export parts to. Did you ever try to meet a submarine?
No.
Submarines, by definition, we can't know where they are. They would give us a general geographic location where
Sure.
a envoy and an embassy
Uh,
representative would come to meet it that had to get to a
yeah.
submarine. We'd be given
Yeah.
a 12-hour window of how to get it there.
Mm. Hmm.
That was fun. Those were good. Yeah, we've had some cool things that we've done over the years. What we
Yeah,
do
absolutely. It's very
makes
underappreciated
literally makes
is
the
what
world go round.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, nobody
Absolutely.
appreciates it.
Yeah.
When things are going well, nobody asks, and they're like, "Oh, well, just give it to our trade people. They'll take care of it," right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And
Yeah.
last year, one of the things I am grateful for, we have a little bit to be thankful for to the Trump administration. As much as
Hmm.
he caused us a lot of headaches, a
Yeah.
lot of sleepless nights, a lot of
Yeah.
misery, and a lot of money, he also made it where everybody now knows we exist.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Thank you so much, Gail. I was curious about two, three smaller things. One, the clock that you managed to get
Sure.
before 7 a.m., the HS code of that clock, was it something very different or the usual clocks?
Well, clocks are a pain in the ass. I don't know, to import as it is, you have to have all the components of the clocks specifically.
Mapped out?
So
Yeah,
it was, we did have to pay quite a bit of duty on it, by the way.
got it. You did call yourself a trade nerd on your LinkedIn profile. Where do trade nerds hang out, either physically or virtually? Is there a place where you meet your buddies?
Great question. So in New York, we do get together occasionally for dinners and dinners, drinks, right? Cocktail hour.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah,
In Germany, the same. In South America, so too, also.
awesome.
Um, Online, we do spend a lot of time on LinkedIn.
Yeah, yeah, that's
LinkedIn,
good.
and then
That
there's also, little subgroup. So there is certain social media sites that we use.
got it.
Um, Also there's the NCBFAA, there's the
Mm.
ICPA, there's
Yeah.
different trade groups. So generally at least once a year, we get together
Mm.
at one of these different conferences. So
And there's a bunch of changes coming in 2028 from the customs organization, right? So, like, do have companies started preparing for it already? Like, how are they thinking about it, you feel?
for us, not yet. Right now, we're
Mm.
still dealing with AIPA, and we're
Okay.
still dealing with the stuff
Yeah.
that we're trying to clean up, but we are
Got it.
re-strategizing. And
Mm.
hopefully, if we do this correctly,
Mm.
the changes we're making now to deal with what's happening now will
Mm.
also overlap with what's happening later. Because
Okay.
right now, unfortunately, we're in that position of somewhat being caught with our pants down. We were focusing
Mm.
on other things. It was funny because I was warning everybody. This was back in 2024. I had said, I'm going to put it on record. I have it in writing. I have it all over the place. I had
Yeah.
said in 2024 that it looks like Trump is gonna win. Are we
Mm,
preparing for the changes that are gonna happen? And
mm,
everybody said to me, "Gail, you're being fatalistic," that I
mm,
was being pessimistic, and he's not gonna win. Okay. So,
mhm.
January 2025, I kinda looked at everybody and I said, "Well," and I they were still acting as business as usual. What was it
Mm,
like 10 years ago, you know?
mm,
And, we just weren't prepared, so that's why right now we're not prepared to flip to the plan for '28 yet. We're just not there.
yeah,
I would
got it.
say if everything goes according to plan in 2026, we can maybe start tackling it
Mm,
in '27.
yeah, amazing, amazing. Gail, this has been so wonderful. Thank you so much for all the stories, and I learned a lot of new things, and I just loved the way you told your stories, loved your personality. Thank you
Well,
so
thank
much.
you. As you can tell, I love talking about this. It's my favorite subject.
And because I'm new to this space, I'm just like absorbing a lot of new things every day. So that's
Well, if you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out, either on
thank you
LinkedIn
so
or
much for your time. Likewise.
bye.
Mine.